Welcome back, and we're going to talk about the string type or the str type. str or str is what Python calls a string, and remember that a string is a group of text. So you'll see strings such as in our classic print hello world statement. The part between the quotes is the string. You can delimit strings in 4 different ways. Delimit means the symbol that starts and ends the string. So there's double quotes, or just plain quotation marks, single quotes, triple single quotes, and triple double quotes. And each of those has its own purpose and appropriate use. So what's the difference? Well, single quotes and double quotes are mostly interchangeable. So for instance, if we were to say print hello in double quotes, put a double equal sign, which means is equal to, more about that later, and then the same exact string in single quotes. When we run the code, we see true. That's a Boolean value, and remember the Boolean type, we'll talk about that another time as well. Now, in other languages, the single quotes are reserved for single characters only, but Python is kind of unique in that it really doesn't distinguish between double quotes and single quotes. You can use triple quotes for a multi-line string. So notice the triple single quote or the triple double quote. In this case, just to demonstrate the point, I'll put triple double quotes around the hello world, and you see the same string. Likewise, when I put single quotes around hello world, triple single quotes that is, you see the same string. Furthermore, I can split it up onto multiple lines, and exactly as I put the string between the quotes is exactly the way it prints. And it's worth noting, if I were to use a single quotation mark but have the string span both lines, we get our first clue, noticing that the color of the word world is in black instead of green, which it should be. And when we click around, we get an error message, EOL, or end of line, while scanning string literal. So, when would you use each? Well, there's no strict rule about when to use each, but there are a few rules about when you can't use each. For instance, most strings should be double quoted. It's convenient and it can be easily used in most languages, such as hello world with double quotes. If you want a quotation mark in your string, you can delimit your entire string with single quotes. The cat said meow. Notice the single quote starts and stops the string, whereas the double quotes are featured within it. So let's look at an example of that. The cat said, comma, double quote, meow, and then a single quote again to delimit it. And as you can see, the double quotes print, the single quote does not. Now what if you need both double quotes and single quotes in one string? In this phrase, that's when I said, it's your choice. The double quotes surround the quote in the string, and the single quote is part of the contraction its. Well, you have a couple of choices in this regard. First, if you use triple quotes, we got a problem. At the end, there are actually 4 quotes in a row. And you can see in the error, end of line, while scanning string literal. So we can use triple single quotes. That way, the regular string ends in a double quote. The quoted text ends in a double quote, but the string is delimited by the triple single quotes. I'm just changing the quote a little bit, but that's not part of it. And there you have it. Both single and double quotes in the same string. This is not the only way to accomplish the goal. It works, but it's a little distracting to read. And typically, the triple quotes are only reserved for when there's a new line within the string. That's when we introduce escape characters. These two characters in sequence, a backslash and then a quote, or a backslash and a single quote, will print the character that you're escaping. So although you see two quotes in the string, two characters in the string, it will output a single character in the output. So reverting to double quotes, of course this won't work, but we can escape the characters we want to print, and it works perfectly. Likewise, we can escape the single quote and we get an identical string in output created by two different strings in input. There are other escape characters you might run into. \n is the new line. \t will create a tab. Of course, you've seen \quote and \double quote. And then the double backslash, of course, creates a backslash. And by the way, don't confuse the slash with the backslash. The backslash, of course, leans back. Thanks again for today's lesson, and be sure to go check out brainstemschool.com and download the ebook if you haven't already, or subscribe to get yourself on the email list, brainstemschool.com/subscribe. Thanks a lot, have a great day, and enjoy the site.